You know when you're watching a group of preschoolers play? Have you ever wondered what is really going on inside their heads? Well, today we're going to unlock that secret. We're diving into the incredible toolkit of a thinker named Lev Vygotsky to discover the magic behind how we all learn, together. This right here. This is the whole game. Vygotsky's entire philosophy is packed into this one sentence. See, it's not about a kid just downloading facts from you. It's about how the very act of interacting with other people, that's what literally builds their ability to think. Just picture your classroom for a second. That's the scene, right? It's this vibrant, sometimes kind of chaotic world that you live in every single day. The buzzing energy, the little groups working on things, the dramas, the triumphs. To an outsider, it might just look like fun and games. But Vygotsky, he saw something else. He looked into rooms just like yours, and he realized, whoa, this isn't just play. He was seeing the actual engine of brain development right there, in action. He got how important the world you create every day really is. Okay, so how do we take these huge ideas and actually use them? Well, we're going to break it all down into a super practical toolkit. Think of these as your new power tools for helping those little minds grow. The first big idea is this. Learning is basically a social dance. Our ability to solve a puzzle, to remember a story, to think things through. All of that stuff starts between people, out in the open, before it ever moves inside our own heads. We're wired to learn from each other. All right, let's grab our first tool from the kit. This is maybe Vygotsky's most famous idea, and it's all about finding that perfect, magic moment for learning to click. I like to call it the just right challenge. So this sweet spot, it has an official name, the Zone of Proximal Development, or ZPD for short. Really, it's just that perfect space where a task isn't so easy that it's boring, but it's not so hard that the child gives up. It's the Goldilocks zone of learning, where with just a little help, they can stretch and do something amazing. Let's make this super simple. So a child can stack 3 blocks by themselves. That's what they can do, no problem. But with you there, giving a little guidance, suddenly a 5-block tower is possible. That gap, the space between 3 blocks and 5 blocks, that is the zone of proximal development. That's where the learning happens. And who's giving that little bit of help? Vygotsky called them the more knowledgeable other, or MKO. And guess what? That's you. You're the MKO. But it could also be a parent. It could even be another kid in the class who's already figured out how to make the tower stable. The MKO is just the guide who helps them reach that next step. So let's tell a story. Here's Leo. He's building with blocks, and his tower keeps crashing down. He's getting frustrated, right? He's at the very edge of what he can do alone. But you, his teacher, the MKO, you see he's in his ZPD. You don't build it for him, no way. You just give him a little nudge, a tiny hint. You say, hey, try making the bottom wide like a superhero fort. And with just that little idea, boom, success. And this is why it matters. It's not just about stacking blocks. It's about that incredible feeling of, I did it. It's that huge rush of confidence that turns I can't into I can. Leo doesn't just feel like he built a tower. He feels like a king. Okay, so we know we need to find that just right challenge. But how exactly do we give that help? That brings us to our second tool, and this one is all about building a bridge so they can get from needing help to doing it all by themselves. This tool is called scaffolding, and it's just like the scaffolding on a building. You put up a temporary structure of support. This support could be a little hint, a question, or showing them how to do one part. But here's the key. It's temporary. As soon as the child starts to get it, you start to take the scaffold away, piece by piece. Let's look at Jaden. He's fighting the classic battle with his shoelaces. It's just a tangled disaster. So his teacher comes over and gives him some scaffolding. She sings a catchy little song, loop, swoop, pull, and she only helps with that first tricky loop. She sets him up and then lets Jaden do the final satisfying part all by himself. And there it is again, that incredible moment of pure pride. Jaden doesn't just have tied shoes now. He has a whole new identity. He's a shoe wizard. And that feeling is what cements the skill and builds a real, genuine love of tackling a challenge. So, Have you ever seen a kid concentrating really hard and they're kind of muttering to themselves? Like, okay, put the blue one here. No, wait, over here. That's not just random chatter. Vygotsky called it private speech, and it is so important. It's the child literally taking the scaffolding you gave them, your words, your song, and turning it into their own inner voice to guide themselves. So let's put all these awesome tools together. Let's zoom out and see what a classroom that's powered by these ideas really looks like, and how it all builds into one big, powerful way of teaching. So here's the journey from start to finish. 1. It all starts with social interaction. 2. An expert guide, that's you, the MKO, spots the child's learning zone, their ZPD. 3. You use scaffolding to help them make the climb to that next level. And 4. Through that private speech, the help you gave them becomes their own way of thinking. It's this beautiful, logical path from learning together to thinking alone. So here it is, your Vygotsky toolkit in a nutshell. What does this mean for you tomorrow in the classroom? It means you embrace social learning. You're always on the lookout for each kid's just right challenge. You become a master scaffolder, knowing when to help and when to step back. You listen for and value all language, especially that private speech. And most of all, you see play for what it really is, a high-tech lab for learning. Please, never forget this. In Vygotsky's world, you are not just a teacher. You are the more knowledgeable other. You are the guide. You are the essential partner in a child's incredible journey. The role you play is dynamic, it's responsive, and it is absolutely crucial for their growth. Ultimately, what Vygotsky gives us is this incredible sense of purpose. He shows us that every single child's potential is just sitting there waiting to be unlocked. Their brains are ready to soar. So the only question is, how are you going to use these tools to help them fly?